Hi, my name's Nick Schlecht. I'm a second year now, and I'm a part of BMB as well as MPS. I'm in Bjorn Hamburger's lab now. Um, I decided to come to MSU because, as my undergrad from University of Minnesota, I did some heavy biochemistry, but I got interested in essentially the sustainability side of like how plants can be super useful. And I didn't really know too much at the time. So I made a big shift from doing some cancer biology research, but I wanted to give it a shot. And in my interview, I really enjoyed all the people I met and I liked the vibe. So this is where I came. As for molecular plant science, I joined the MPS program because of my interviews, actually. So I originally just applied to the B&B program and planned to like work in a couple labs that were associated with B&B that are plant related because there's plenty of those. But I interviewed with Christoph Benning, and I didn't even know about the molecular plant science program at the time because it was so new. But in my interview, he basically like talked it up like big time because he's like a director for it, I believe. And so with all of the organization he helped do, he said that I'd probably be a great fit for that because of my interest in it, but I can still do my biochemistry and things like that. And so I basically got peer pressured into applying and got in, and it's been a really great atmosphere since then. All right. So fun things to do at MSU slash in Michigan. There's a number of things. So MSU itself, like programs, offer a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of all the seminars are pretty fun to go to. There's a lot of events that B&B and MPS hosts. AMPS has lots of free food for us all the time, which has been great. Um, I know Danny Ducat, which is a professor here, hosts a board game night every month, as well as a number of graduate students like to play board games together. So I've been doing that with a lot of them as a unofficial activity, but it's still kind of MSU related, I'd say. Um, Outside of that, there's a number of fun things to do in the area. There's a lot of great breweries and distilleries too. I've slowly come to like trying whiskey, just like on the rocks and stuff, because a ton of people do that here apparently. As well as you're like an hour away from all of the other cool cities, which is so East Lansing itself might not be the biggest place, but you can easily travel to so many other cool places in Michigan. So I've done a little bit of that. There are cool things here as well. I went to an escape room sometime last year and a number of other things. Um, but largely just like hanging out with some, fun friends you make along the way and doing some local things here. Some hobbies I have outside of science. Let's see. Well, like I was talking about earlier, I do like board games. I've been getting more and more into that and buying some myself. I'll play some other games with some friends. I do enjoy a good beer. I took a brewing class actually in my undergraduate and, really enjoyed the whole experience. And so that's a fun hobby as well. Um, I like squash and badminton. I've been playing that a lot, actually, with people in my lab, which has been a ton of fun. Um, yeah. So what does my lab do? So I'm in Bjorn Hamburger's lab, and we work on terpene metabolism. Essentially, we're trying to find a lot of the biosynthetic routes that create terpenes, as well as we're trying to do a lot of synthetic bio, where we can, put pathways we find in plants, and then put them into yeast or some other organism, try to improve yields. We have a number of connections with like the GLBRC and a lot of other things. It's a relatively big lab, so we got a lot of projects going on. Um, feel free to email me about them. What are the strengths? Strengths. Ooh. What do you think the strengths of MSU's different biological science graduate programs? Well, for one, they're surprisingly interconnected. So I joined through BMS, which lets you pick any like molecular bio program, and then from there, I'm in MPS. And so like I can be in MPS and BMB, which is within BMS, and you can kind of it's very flexible essentially. You can pick a lot of different options and then kind of tailor that experience. And from there, there's a lot of other interesting opportunities that you can like apply for. So like there's the impacts program, which I'm not a part of, but a lot of people in my lab are, where it's like they kind of pair you with some computer science people, and you learn a lot more about programming and stuff like that that can help you along the way. I'm in the Plant Biotechnology for Health and Sustainability kind of fellowship group, which is a fellowship MSU has, but NIH can also pay for. And with that, there's a a paid internship opportunity. Obviously, it's going to pay for your stipend for a while. And then every year we students organize a symposium that we get to put together and get to know faculty better and like get a new side of academia, which is like the organizing stuff. And that's been very entertaining as well. As for extracurriculars, I helped organize with the PBHS stuff, but I also uh, really enjoyed being an AMPS, the Association for Molecular Plant Science Students. Basically, you're in it by default, but you can kind of participate more or less. But really, the short end is we get together a lot and we eat food and then chat about things. But we also have a lot of other things that we're trying to organize. We're supposed to be in charge of something called the Fascination of Plants Day, where we can, do some outreach with some kids and youth and stuff like that. We run a lot of other events and help participate in a couple things, but it's mostly just like a great excuse to get to know people in our big collective program of molecular plant science students, as there's everything from horticulture to cell and molecular bio in that program. What are your highlights of MSU so far? I really like the PBHS symposiums. I think that's a ton of fun helping organize, but then like the actual event themselves has been great. I really appreciate the camaraderie of the floor or that I work on in particular. So I'm in the molecular plant science building, and everyone on the third floor is super nice. It's a big open floor plan, so it's more than just my lab, and we all will like have little holiday parties together, and we just chat about each other's work, and we're just very collaborative, and it's a very great environment to be working in. So it's not one particular experience for that, but like maybe the holiday parties or something. My PI makes a really good Thanksgiving turkey, I'll say that much. But yeah, hopefully this could get spliced together into a better video.